All right, we came to run up a bag today. What is going on YouTube? It is Karma Speaks, back with another video. I came across a video on TikTok and I'm bringing it over to YouTube so it can be the topic of discussion. It's a really good video. We're going to talk about running up this bag and this gentleman over here. His TikTok is It's Jay Jones.
So earlier I made a TikTok in my uniform. Obviously today, right now, I'm not in it. I just got let go by my job, my dealership job. I'm not gonna lie to you, I kind of expected it, but the way that it was gonna go down, I didn't expect it to be like this. So long story short, it's a car business. If you don't put numbers on the board, you don't perform, then you're gonna get the boot essentially. You know, this month hasn't really been good for me. I haven't sold any cars. Everybody else around me got 5, 6, 7, 8 cars, whatever. I've been bringing customers in. They usually got bad credit or, you know what I'm saying, they don't have a co-signer, right? Now, mind you, the training that we get is like very subpar. It's very subpar. Like we'll get it every maybe once or twice, maybe in a week. And then
I'll say this. I was just saying this to my mom the other day. October is a cursed month. I don't know if he got let go in October or September, but October is a cursed month. Like every year, October just doesn't hit. Even this year for me, revenue is lacking. Like I'm not doing what I was doing in all the previous months before. Like this month has felt slow. Looking numbers wise, I'm still somewhat on track to do good numbers, but even for me, October feels weird. So we're gonna chalk that up to that.
And then everything else we just pick up from one another. And me personally, I'm not the type to put blame on anybody else and point fingers. You know, at the same time, at the end of the day, there's certain things that I got to work on for myself. But there's a certain level of like knowledge and expertise that people have to put into place in order for the whole group to succeed. And I guess I was just one of those guys that, they kind of trained and then, didn't fully succeed. Which is okay. I respect everybody in there. I respect my coworkers. But there was a coworker that I had to get fired because he had threatened me with a gun. And, I filed a complaint, talked to HR, and low-key,
We threatening people with guns now at work? That's crazy. I get being outside in the streets, but at work threatening somebody with a gun, yeah, you gotta go. Obviously, it wasn't this gentleman. It was whoever he got fired, but yeah, that's a no-go, especially in like a professional environment like that. It's definitely a no-go.
I kind of feel like this might be like a retaliation thing, because usually what they'll do is try to like let you go at the end of the month. But today they decided to let me go, and the manager told me like we were going to do it on Friday, but we wanted to give you the weekend to see if you could have a little saving grace. I'm like, okay.
Now that's something interesting. That I have noticed this before, where it's like, so you'll get somebody fired, or, you'll kind of have to address an issue. The person gets fired because of the issue, and you soon thereafter get fired because of some reason. When in reality, it's like that person that got fired, they got fired because there are certain policies that have to be in place, but they were cool with everybody. They were cordial. They were like probably a favorite of the office. And I've had, certain instances like that, or I've seen them, not me personally, but I've seen them where it's like one person will have an issue with somebody. They'll do something outside of the code of conduct or whatever, and then they'll get them fired. And then soon thereafter, that person gets fired just for some bullshit reason. Like, hey, you came in 1 minute late, or hey, this happened, or whatever, because they got that person fired and they had to be fired because it goes against company policy. And if they kept them on the team, then it really would have been a way bigger issue than anything else. I've seen it with, especially like, sexual harassment type claims. There was another TikTok where there was this lady who got a sexual harassment claim against her. And basically she ended up getting fired or whatever. And she didn't say anything inadvertently provocative or inappropriate, but, it was enough to get her fired just because there's certain policies in regards to these big companies.
Okay, sure. So, ultimately, they gave me the termination paper, and I didn't sign it, but obviously, you know how it is. And hey, if anybody in Houston is looking for a 25-year-old, got a bachelor's in communications, I can do marketing, social media, business marketing, sales, anything like that, and that, you know, you're willing to teach me a little bit and not just be like, hey, here, go fish and learn as you go.
Yeah, okay. That last part, you know me, I'm Mr. Anti-school. Getting a degree in basket weaving and communications, it's useless. Like any type of degree where it's like you get a business degree or you get some sort of degree that you could have just either started in an industry or you're doing it to basically build your own thing is so stupid, especially a car sales job or any type of sales job. Bro, like get a certificate. You want to be a realtor, like get your license to be a realtor. You want to sell cars, just sell cars. You don't have to go to school for these things. Now I know some people, they don't know what they want to do, so they kind of just pick something that's like very ambiguous, and it's like, you know, let me just pick this because it could probably pivot in many directions. But a lot of times it's just like, yo, you're spending all this money and getting in this student loan debt. I don't know if he got in student loan debt or if he was able to cash out on it. But a lot of people will get into the student loan debt and you got a degree that you didn't even need to spend money on, or you can't get a job or whatever career field that you want to get into because it's not really useful at all. You know, there are only a select few degrees that are actually useful. Obviously, doctor, lawyer, accountant, that stuff. But outside of that, it's like, come on. But yeah, man. I mean, if you got a good mouthpiece on you, you're able to eat for life. You're able to eat for life. You're never gonna starve. You know, he's probably gonna be back on his stuff within the next like couple of months. Even with all these, you know, layoffs and this and that, people complain. Like if you just got a good mouthpiece, you'll get there. And he's a good looking dude too. So like that's a plus also. For me personally, like, you know, whenever I was going about, I'm not going to say a job, but I'll say like with business, if I lost a client, it doesn't take that long to get a new client. It doesn't take that long to, you know, be charismatic enough to sign a new client on and work with them for the next however long period and then substitute it. You know, you get that client, you get $2,500 a month from that person or the next one. It's not that hard. Same thing with, you know, finding a job. As long as you present yourself right, you're clean, you are articulate with your words. He has a degree, you know, he's got a higher education. So it's like when he presents that, then he can run up a bag with it. But yeah, bro, let me know what you guys think about that video in the comments. Hopefully he's able to pull it together, you know, run up this bag and get paid, man. I mean, I feel like the economy is moving in a really good direction. A lot of people say otherwise. I think the economy is moving in a really good direction. And we're going to see a lot of decent job growth and a lot of money flowing into people's pockets. You just got to learn how to pivot and where to pivot and make a play. But appreciate anybody that watched this. Peace.